Now, he released his first album at just 14 years of age and has since gone on to become one of Ireland's finest tenors.
And since we last saw him, he's been entertaining fans across America and popped the big question too. We've a lot to catch up with. Please welcome Paul Byrom! You've been a very busy man.
Yeah, it's been hectic, but you're like, you know, after 2 years of COVID doing nothing, it's nice to be busy, isn't it?
Yeah,
of course
great.
it is. And congrats on popping the question. She said yes.
She did say yes. I mean, I'm shocked as anybody else probably watching, you know. But yeah, delighted. We had a nice trip to Italy there recently, and the setting was right, the mood was right, and I had a lot of wine in me, and she did too, clearly. Yeah. So she said yeah, so I'm delighted. Yeah.
And before we get into the intimate evening with Paul Byrom, I want to ask, did you do the age-old thing of asking for permission?
Oh, I did. So Catherine's a Belfast girl, so I drove up to see her dad. I went for a coffee and he shook my hand and all was good. Terribly nice family, like really down to earth, normal, lovely people, and you know, nothing at all associated to show business. So it's so appealing, you know. So it's lovely, yeah. That's great.
Awesome. Yeah. And got recently engaged as well, didn't you?
I did, and sure, so did our Fionnuala Moran as well.
And sure, Greg has fallen deeply in love. It won't be long now.
Don't bring me into this.
Wobbly knee, Greg. Wobbly knee.
When Greg starts posting pictures on his Insta post, you know it's serious.
Quickly back to business, Paul Byrom. So an intimate evening with Paul Byrom. How intimate are we talking?
Oh, we've moved on from the engagement proposal, have we? So an intimate evening is this theatre in Greystones. Is a beautiful little theatre. It's called the Whale Theatre. Holds about 150 people. I did a couple of appearances there as a guest for other artists, and they asked me would I do a night. And I thought, you know what, it's such a lovely setting. And there's lots of these little theatres around the country which we should be very proud of. But this one is beautiful. And I'm going to go in with a beautiful guitarist, guy called Chris Cole, and a pianist. And we're going to do a mixed bag of music, like an acoustic kind of set. Because normally I'd have a big band or big orchestra whenever I'm doing shows in Ireland. So it's nice to kind of just strip it back down and tell stories and have a laugh with the audience. It will be intimate because it will be all stories and chatting. And because it's so small and you're sitting around tables and everything, you know, you see the whites in people's eyes, and there's nothing nicer as a performer to be able to look into the audience and go, how are you, Mary? Yeah. Mary, get off your phone.
Yeah. That is true.
You're a performer.
I know, that's true. I like those intimate ones, but another one that you're doing that is on a bigger scale, you're going to be belting out some Disney classics next month. Yeah. Can you tell us what you've got planned with that?
Well, so I was invited by RT Concert Orchestra to perform 100 years of Disney's music. This year is 100 years of Disney. And so they're having a big concert in Limerick and in the National Concert Hall. And I've been asked, along with a number of other singers, to come in and sing. And I'm doing the Genie song from Aladdin. Cool. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to be telling people what I'm singing, but I'm also doing Under the Sea. But anyways, like, that being said, the last couple of weeks I've been listening to Disney on the Spotify for like literally 2-3 weeks. And yeah, it's a bit weird if I pull up at the traffic lights and you see Under the Sea. Under the Sea.
Yeah.
We were talking behind the scenes our favourite Disney movies. Do you have a favourite one?
Yeah, I mean, I think the original Lion King is hard to beat. Yeah. Seven Dwarfs was my first, and it has a very soft little spot in my heart because, you know, the seven lads, like, they were all different lads, but they're all good friends. There was a grumpy fella, there was a dopey fella. We all have that dopey mate, you know, we have that grumpy fella, and then the doc, the fella that thinks he knows it all. So there was, and then everybody loved that girl, you know. Yeah, so there was a lot about the Seven Dwarfs that I love, you know.
Let's rewatch that, actually, with that in mind now. Yeah.
Well, let's see if this lad will make the Seven Dwarfs.
Oh, yeah, actually, what do you know? I think we've got Disney-fied Paul.
Oh, yeah. Like a handsome, charming prince, you know, wow.
Side by side.
Yeah, and then look at me, you know, the old guy. It's like when he was young, and then there's the decrepit-looking thing.
Ah, no, you look great, Paul.
Did we make the cut? Any Disney characters presented?
Greg, I'd say... there you go. Greg, you'd be a great Aladdin.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure we could get you into a panto somewhere in Dublin.
I think there's no question. Standard Disney character, like in the back, but you look like a Disney princess.
The Perrys are actually like Jasmine and Aladdin.
Oh my God, we could do it. The 6 o'clock show does panto.
Stop,
there we go.
Sing.
Alan Hughes would go mad.
Yeah, well, only if he'll bring a song to a stage school, isn't that right?
This is true, because you're going to be passing on your love of performing. So you're after setting up a stage school. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it's been on the back of my mind for quite some time. And in fairness, Catherine is great like this. She's kind of very in the background, but kind of like very encouraging and kind of like, just do it. And like, what's the worst that can happen? So I decided, you know what? I've always felt I'd love to give back in some respects. As you said, my first album was when I was 14. So that's 30 years ago this year. And I'm opening a stage school in the area I grew up in, Booterstown. And the idea is to bring kids in from the age of 4 to kind of 12, 13. You don't have to have any level of ability. All I want people to do is send their kids in, and what I want to instill is an appreciation for music, an enjoyment for music. Like, because you get it in school, you get the sports and you get all of this, that and the other. But sometimes music falls away, especially for boys. Boys, a lot of boys out there would love to be able to dance and sing, but of course they kind of be embarrassed because their mates are playing rugby or soccer or whatever it might be. And so what I want to do is open this space for boys and girls to come along and just enjoy music and enjoy dance. And I'm going to try and instill confidence, articulation, the ability to stand and talk. Because I think a lot of kids nowadays, their heads are in iPads and phones and stuff. And if you have a conversation with them, there's very little coming back at you. And I think that's an awful shame. So part of this will be encouraging them to stand up and talk in front of the class. And then we'll be driving that home. So it's a mixed bag of things, but all around just performance and walking out the door feeling confident about themselves.
And it is great to put in confidence in kids at that
Now,
age.
I'm nervous. I'm more nervous than the kids. It opens on Wednesday and I'm like, oh my God, I'm teaching kids. You know,
and here, when you're not setting up your own stage school, you've been bringing music to nursing homes around Dublin. So when did you start? Like, when did you first start performing?
Between the proposal to schools and nursing homes, you're painting me out to be this really nice guy. I'm terribly not. So yeah, this guy Gerald Peregrine came to me a while ago with an idea that we go. He's been going during COVID in particular. I sang for my grandmother. My grandmother was 101 when she passed, but her last 2 years were sadly during COVID, and so we couldn't get in. And I used to stand outside the nursing home with my sound system and just sing to her. And Jerry saw me doing this online and he said, look, come on with me. So himself and a couple of musicians go around to different nursing homes and we go in and we do an hour's performance for them. So like yesterday I was out in Malahide and it was great and they're singing along. You're singing old school songs. And what drives it home again is that no matter what mental state anybody's in or no matter what age they're in or background you're from, music has a great ability to just touch your soul, you know. And I think if I can continue to do that, well, then that's a win for me. You know, like making money and paying the bills and all of that and albums, that's all great, sitting on the 6 o'clock show. But honestly, if you can bring music to people that of all ages and bring some enjoyment, I think that's really the essence to it, you know, and I'm really lucky to be able to do it.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Paul.
Thanks very much.
And now Paul will be performing an intimate evening with Paul Byrom in the Whale Theatre, Greystones, County Wicklow on October 14th. Tickets are available from paulbyrom.ie. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.